Hello, everybody. Happy Friday and happy Friday the 13th. Please be safe out there. Don't do nothing stupid. First, my disclaimer. In no way, shape, or form am I sponsored, endorsed, or ambassador by any of the products or companies in which I speak about. I solely speak about them out of the goodness of my heart. I share them with you, my YouTube community, who I also consider my faraway friends. In no way am I affiliated with any content creator, vlogger, or blogger of any kind. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the video. I'll leave you comments below. Everybody, happy Friday. It's Friday. Yay, the end of the week. Beautiful morning. It's 9:30. I woke up at about 7:15. Actually 7 o'clock because I took my pill. But I tend to, when I take my thyroid pill, I tend to nod back off. So then I woke up maybe about 7:15, 7:20. Decided to have a cup of tea. This is now my second cup. And then I wanted to do some things around the house because today is Friday the 13th. Dun, 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 dun. I'm not leaving this house. I got news for you. I just don't like it. I have certain superstitions. I do. Say it if you will, but I do. Thank you to everybody who interacted yesterday with my last video. Thank you so much. It was a nice conversation. Yeah. And also the fact, again, I'm going to mention Miss Kim Irvine, who is now retiring after 55 years at Disney. Mommy was Madame Leota, portrayed in the Haunted Mansion. But there are now articles coming out and more people are now saying, basically what it is that they seem to be repeating what others are saying. Oh, well, you know, it's her time and, you know, I think she should retire. And, well, you know, again, and then somebody had stated, which I don't really agree with, on WDW Pro's show, as a matter of fact, and I agree with mostly everything that they say, but I didn't agree with one panelist. And the panelist says, you know, she doesn't know how to, you know, Imagineering skills. She does. I mean, the woman's been there since 1970. She learned a lot from her mom and her dad, and then her father-in-law as well works for the company. But, you know, what my thing is that she's probably, as we like to consider, old school, okay? And the old school rules were that she most likely, I'm sure she wanted to keep the true vision of Walt himself. And what I'm saying is that my whole out perspective of this is that I'm thinking, you know, I'm just going to think out loud. I didn't say it was ever said or anything. This is my words, that I think she was coerced. I think that the new times and the new styles are just not, you know, they're clashing with probably her original ideas. This is what I like to think, okay? She's an old school person. She's been there 55 years, folks. She had to do something right, okay? I just didn't like the statement that one of the panelists says, and, you know, her ways. I don't think it was her ways at all. I think the people of the Disney company, the newer people, most likely come in and say, oh, well, you know, this needs to be changed and this needs to be changed. So she must have, you know, abided by their rules. Obviously she would have to, but she probably tried to put her own spin into it to where the original creativity would come out, and they must not have liked it. She probably didn't agree with what they were doing, but she had to go along with it anyway. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'd like to think. And she probably figured, you know what, I'm not going to be able to fight, I'm not going to be able to work with you people, so I will probably retire. Or they coerced her into retiring. Well, you know, we feel that, you know, maybe it's, you know, if you're not happy here, or, you know, the ideas are changing and times are changing, and maybe it's, you know, maybe you would like to leave. That's what I'm thinking, okay? Again, what I said yesterday, get the paper signed, get the hell out of there, right? There is enough BS going on. You know this, you've seen this. Okay, here we go for the latest thing. Oh, the water parks are crowded. I know for a fact, someone who went down there, that the park is not crowded. There's a very good reason for it, however, if you do see more than the average people right now. The average attendance of people, okay? And that's because they're giving away free tickets to the park. You notice this. Because when you book a trip, on your first day of arrival, you get to pick a water park for that day. And you get a free water park pass. Well, this is why your damn park is crowded now. Everybody's going for free, at least to the water parks. And you get to pick which one you want. It's not a set thing. So you can pick Blizzard Beach, or I know my husband and I would probably have an argument over it because my husband would want to pick Typhoon Lagoon. He loves Typhoon Lagoon. I'm a Blizzard Beach person, but that's me. I mean, I could go either way with that. I like Blizzard Beach for the man-made wave pool, even though Typhoon Lagoon has it, but there's just something that draws me to the, I feel more, I don't know, more safer in that wave pool at Blizzard Beach. I don't swim, but I like to take the float and go out to the middle of Blizzard Beach water because there is a thing that it does in the water, and you feel the, I can actually fall asleep out there. That's how good it is. It's relaxing. Just until, like, of course, the wave comes and then I get the hell out of there. But my husband likes Typhoon Lagoon. So there was a friend of mine that went to Typhoon Lagoon. There really wasn't anybody there. So, but we know why those parks have capacity now. And that's the only reason why, is because they're giving away the free ticket. So, you know, is Disney really making anything? I think right now they're kind of realizing, hey, you know what? How long is this promotion going to be for? Because, you know, money is being lost. At least to Bob Iger, you know. I have here an article in my own hometown newspaper. I'm just going to read you the caption. Now, I'm an open-minded person. I was raised open-minded. My mom and dad were always open-minded. They were very kind people. Absolutely. Here's an article that was, as a matter of fact, I kept it here for a while. This was from June 6, 2025, in my hometown newspaper, the New York Post. And I thought this was interesting. Transgender, trans influencer records video in Disney ladies' room to stir up crap. And the title is, "Don't Stand for This Pea-Brain Privacy Invader." Women are visible if you're perpetually in line, perhaps, blah, 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 since 2022. Okay, they go into the whole thing. Ranking every woman's bathroom in Disney World. And there's a shot of the young lady. Get out. Trans influencer, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even entertaining her name. I'm not giving that kudos. Trans influencer, blah, blah, blah. Post on TikTok reveals women in the bathroom at a Disney resort. Okay. Ranking every woman's bathroom. Florida trans person. 3 minutes later, the influencer gives a blow-by-blow commentary, including excruciatingly unnecessary detail about how he urinated standing up. In another Disney video, blah blah delivers a primable about using women's rooms in Florida and trans person. Listen, if you wanted content, honey, you just got your 15 minutes of fame for pointing, I think, something stupid out, but you just not only gave yourself bad attention, you gave the situation bad attention that it probably didn't really need. Yeah. Women are visible. Meanwhile, many of the photos show women in the background, sometimes with emojis over their faces. Oh, well, at least she had the nerve to do that. Gee whiz, how nice. One TikTok post starts with an image of blah blah in a Minnie Mouse ears and a hair bow meant for a 5-year-old girl, taking a selfie that shows 3 women in the background. Caption, ranking every women's bathroom in Disney World. Well, listen, not for nothing. What else are you going to content create down there? I mean, I found it to be a little, See, I have to find humor in this crap. I really do. The song on the post, "When You Wish Upon a Star," is perfect. Is perfect for this delusion that a dude can simply bippity boppity boo into a lady. Okay, obviously she's slamming that situation. It's a Venn diagram of the worst of the intent has to offer. Disney adults performance, trans content rolled into one. Number one, you seem to have issues with a certain situation. You're not making yourself look nowhere near good at all in that problem. You picked a subject that perhaps you should have just stayed away from. This is a whole 2-page spread, by the way. In another Disney video, blah blah delivers a preamble using a woman's right. We know that. Blah blah is the one who is unsafe, you see, even while poking others. Not for his security or freedom, but for content. That I agree. Everybody needs content down there. Nobody's got nothing else to do down there. I mean, it's the state of Florida is one of the laws that must require you to have a freaking camera. I mean, do you have a camera? Oh, good, you can stay in the state. It's ridiculous. For content, but for content clicks. It's all one big provocation. More proof, it goes on, more proof that this dude does not belong in a woman's bathroom. What is you seem to have issues, obviously, and you made the issues your own now. So these issues are now part of you. They're going to follow you around basically now for the rest of your life. Because once you do shit on the internet like this, you're in there forever. You realize that. Nothing kind here, folks, I tell you. It's awful bizarre to fetishize a toilet to access to a place where a woman simply wants privacy. We want to get in and out. We do not want some creep in mini ears taking photos, posting them on masses. Okay, see, because the person that I'm talking about doing all this is actually a guy, so it seems. Blah blah can choose how he wants to live, posting spicy things on OnlyFans. Okay, that's a whole other different website. That's a whole different movie, folks. And OnlyFans is not for the weak. It's not even for the nice. It is just to make a few dollars, to show things that you have no business of being on the internet, but you choose to out them anyway. It's horrible. Horrible. And then you have another one here, Oregon high school jumping, blah, blah, blah. I'm not mentioning her name. And a fellow competitor refused to share the podium with a trans athlete who finished 5th in the state championships. Something needs to be done to bring attention to this issue, she said. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. We went from Disney to this. That is a tough one. And it is kind of, I mean, I could say a lot. I don't want to say certain things because if I say the wrong thing, it's a touchy situation. You got to kind of walk on eggshells. I could think things, but to say them is two different things. That's a touchy situation. You work very hard in your sports activities. Some people work from children up. I mean, they get trained to do these things. And then it's kind of like, yeah, something happens and comes out of nowhere along the way. I get it. I get that. It's very strong. Do I think it's right? No, not really. No, because the person had once had a total different background in their lives. They were a total different person. I get it. I get that. That's rough. So I'm going to leave that right there. That's hard. It's a shame, but it's hard. You train all your life. I get it. I know exactly what the article, I mean, I read the article, so I know what the article is saying. You know, is it fair? Most likely, no. No, it isn't. That I will say. So, moving on from that. What else is going on in my current events? It looks like it's going to rain, but I think it's going to be sunny. Tonight we're going to have pizza. Thank God I don't have to cook. So I am just going to continue doing what I'm doing here. My vacuum cleaner hose, my poor baby vacuum cleaner hose has a hole in it. I was wondering because I was doing the vacuuming on Wednesday and I'm saying to myself, it's not picking stuff up. I thought maybe the hose was blocked, but it's kind of like a translucent hose so I can see what would be in the hose. So I lifted the hose and I, stretched it out a little and there it is, it's separating. And I went, oh my God. So I had to use electrical tape for that. I'm very sad. One day, I think I would like to go for one of those fancy stick vacs. I don't know. One of those. Now the company that does the scrub it for my bathroom brush, the bathroom USB rechargeable brush that I bought at Lidl for $20. They also have a stick vac. I was a little excited about this, but I need something that's light, which that is. I need something also with more power because this vacuum here will suck the floorboards up. That's how powerful he is. So when he doesn't work too good, I know there's something wrong, obviously. I don't have carpets. I only have little area carpets. And that's good enough for me. But yeah, I was totally upset. I was so upset. Now I could buy the hose. The hose is available. The whole attachment is available on Amazon. I think they want $89. But for $89, maybe next year I would like to take that $89 and maybe put it toward something else, But with a stick vac, I don't know if I would get enough power. And I don't know if I could do the things that I do with this one. See, the hose, I use the hose for up on top. I could stretch him out. I could use the hose for the corners in my room, things like that. If I think I see anything, which I don't, but I like to clear the air up there anyway. I wipe my walls down with my Swiffer mop. I do that. I wipe the walls down. I do my own thing here. But I'm going to be sad if anything else happens to him. He's 7 years? I think he's 8 years old now. Seven. Bought him in 2018. So anyway, I have the electrical tape and I had to reinforce because I get creative with that. And he seems to be fine now, as long as I don't stretch out the tube. Oh my. Alrighty. What else? If anything else interesting pops up, so will I. But I thought, speaking of the current events, I thought that was a little bit cheesy. Get a better hobby, I say. I don't know. Stay in your lane. I don't know. I could say a number of things right now, but I'm going to leave that alone. So, all right. Oh, the sun is coming out. Yay! Okay, let me finish doing what I'm doing and let me get going here and see what else I can do, because I know if I'm going to sit here any longer, I'm just going to sit here, and I don't want to do that. So be safe out there today, Friday the 13th. Please be safe. Don't do anything stupid, okay? Because I know people like to do jokes and everything. See, that's why I don't want to go out. I went out yesterday. Walked around Primark. They have the same things at Primark, by the way. I also, back in late May, mid-May, I tried again for Primark, for my area Primark. I don't know if I sent anything to you. I sent in my information on the Primark website, which I'm registered. Now, remember, the first time I got turned down because they were doing something and then they decided not to go in that direction. This is the rejection letter that I had got the first time. So I put in now in mid-May for part-time, which to me would be perfect. And, you know, in my area, a few hours a day, that's perfect for me. I have not heard anything back from that. I'm thinking maybe they're working on it. I know kids are leaving out of school now. Summer jobs are happening, so that would be another thing. That would be the excuse right there. But I never got a rejection this time around. So I'm kind of hoping, fingers crossed, you know, I think I would like it. I really would. Anyway, the birds are singing. I will talk to you soon. Again, please be safe out there today if you got to go out. And don't try anything funny. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just go on with your day, do what you got to do, and go home. That's it. Love to all. I will talk to you soon. Have a good, safe, happy Friday the 13th. Love to all.